Welcome, guys, to the Real Football Talk. I'm your host, Hassan. I have Maruf, Famik, and Adil with me today, where we'll be discussing the North London derby between Arsenal against Spurs, where Mikel Arteta won for the first time against Jose Mourinho in all of his career, really, as a player and as a manager. First, I want to kind of straight jump into the wonder goal by Lamela, really. Maruf, what was your take on the finish, really?
You know, the finish was sublime, 10 out of 10, maybe a Puskas award. Probably he might be a candidate for that award. But yeah, I thought, wow, that's a derby goal. Boom, impact sub, brilliant. But yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was 10 out of 10 goal. Maybe one of the goal of the seasons, from my perspective. Something out of the blue, you know, and to do that, to have the audacity to do that, you know, it just shows how left-footed he is, that he didn't even want to hit it with his right.
Famik, what did you make? Obviously, Arsenal started off again dominating like the previous game. Spurs go in the first kind of attack and they score. What did you make of the whole process again? It seemed like something going to happen again where Spurs outdone them with the tactics.
It seems pretty much same old. Arsenal dominate for 20, 25 minutes or however long it was, and then Spurs score. And all we do is huff and puff until the game ends. And then we lose that 1-0 under normal circumstances. Whereas today, I'm not going to lie, when Lamela came on, I knew he had it in him to get sent off. And he didn't disappoint.
He's a very passionate player, isn't he? He feels it.
He's a nasty player, not a passionate player. Lamela's a nasty player. He just doesn't get caught on it a lot. That's what it is.
I mean, do you think he should have been red carded?
Yeah.
Was that right, red card, yeah?
I think the foul itself that got him his second yellow, any other player probably wouldn't have got the second booking. But because it's him and he's been doing little things throughout the game, the referee probably said, I've had enough. This one looks like it's a bit more of an issue than the rest. So here's your second yellow. That's why he didn't send him off. Because if he sent him straight off, they would have had it on VAR and they would have rescinded it.
What did
the ref never had to? It's one of those ones where the ref it's down to the ref's discretion. Normally they just give a foul, but Lamela was pushing it the whole game. So, you know,
I mean, there was a lot of like little niggles from Højbjerg, from all of their players. Really, they seemed really
not the same manner as Lamela. Lamela's ones are nasty. Like, as in he's always trying to do a little bit more than he probably should.
There was a tackle where he went into Gabriel, you know, with studs showing, and I thought that was his second yellow and goodbye. But he got away with that one.
There were a few where he was also harshly ruled as well. I mean, because as a couple, he won the ball. It was aggressive tackle, but I saw the same tackles going in from both teams. But because it was from Lamela, he got given a foul, and he won the ball clean. So it's his reputation, just like with Xhaka, his reputation feeds him. And Lamela is that type of player. He acts up to that villain characteristic. He likes it. He doesn't stop arguing. He doesn't back down, even when he's got when he's on a blatant foul. You'll still see him arguing with the referee and getting face to face with the opposition player, and you just think, just pipe down. You've made a dirty tackle there, and I agree with Famik. He does do these sly ones where he shows his studs. Remind me of a player on this pod right here.
Let's not bring that up, right?
The same way.
Hassan tackles like Paul Scholes.
I'm not sure if anyone saw Mourinho's reaction as soon as Lamela put his elbow and hand out. Mourinho just went, he's off.
Yeah, he knew though.
He knew straight away he was off.
Yeah.
I mean, let's kind of go back to the first goal and the threat from the left, really, because it seemed like Doherty and Højbjerg was going to the right because of Smith Rowe. They couldn't really seem to handle that left side. And is this something maybe Arteta kind of planned for an attack, Famik, do you think?
I doubt it. I don't think Arteta said go down there, right? I just think the Arsenal players realised that that's where the joy was, because Arsenal always go down their left anyway. This is what they do normally. And the fact that Gareth Bale's not going to track back because that's not what he is there for. And Doherty is not actually a good defender in a 4 at the back. So that's the best side. Then you've got Sanchez on that same side who is hit and miss. Some days he's excellent, some days he's a bit crap. And you know, Smith Rowe runs all game, created the most chances in the match. So there you go.
Other problem they had was that, and that was the string. The whole first half, they played Ndombele on that side too, while Højbjerg was on the other side. I was straight away, I was like, this is such a bad setup. Switch Ndombele with Højbjerg, because Ndombele was so lazy too. So you got 3 players, Bale, Ndombele, and Doherty, all on one side of the pitch. And none of them could handle Tierney's runs or Smith Rowe's runs. And that was the problem. Ndombele was picking up Smith Rowe in such a slow way. And obviously, Tierney just had way too much for Doherty. But the strange thing was, Doherty looked like a player like he's never defended in his life before. It's not like Tierney done some skill. You know, he literally just took one touch in and then just sprinted outside of him.
I mean, it's the usual move he does, Tierney, basically, where he shows it in and then just knocks it past and uses his feet.
Yeah, so, it's like when Arjen Robben cuts in on his left foot. You know,
you know that he's going to do that every day.
Bit too much now.
But I thought Doherty was too sluggish, too slow, couldn't even move. And every time KT was up against him, you knew KT was going past him without a shadow of a doubt.
So maybe why didn't Spurs play instead of Ndombele? Then why didn't they play Sissoko? Because they had Sissoko, who's a more of a workman-like player.
Because Mourinho's dumb, and he thought because it's worked the last couple of games.
I was just about to say, it's worked for him tactically.
Mourinho is not he's not a good fit for Spurs. Spurs aren't great defensively, and he has got them playing counter-attacking football. If Kane and Son aren't firing, Tottenham aren't producing anything, as you saw today. The only player on the pitch that played for at least the first 60, 70 minutes was Lucas Moura. Everybody else was a bit hit and miss. They looked tired. Everybody looked tired, slow to the ball and things like that. That's why, their second shot of the game was Kane's header? No?
Kane's free. No. Yeah, Kane's header, which was ruled out.
Kane's header. Then
they're like, that's not normal for Tottenham. Even when they play defensively, they just had one of those games where their midfield was snuffed out, so they didn't get the ball forward to Harry Kane quick enough, and then nothing happened.
I mean, what it seemed like like you said, they couldn't get. Do you think they set it up in a way, as in talking for Arsenal, where they kind of didn't allow Spurs to hit that ball into Kane for them to build that attack, or is it just something just where Spurs were just completely?
I think this game was more Spurs being poor than Arteta tactically being a genius.
I don't think Arsenal tactically outplayed Spurs. No, I think they were too slow, too many passes sideways. There was no link between, let's just say the front men and the back. Højbjerg was losing the ball constantly. You would take him for Mr. Reliable, but he wasn't today.
No, Højbjerg just kicked shins, didn't he?
And lost the ball numerous times. And Ndombele, every time he kicked the ball away, it looked like he was injured. Lucas, I think the last 10, 15 minutes, he came to life. Until then, he was under a rock. Who else? Kane as well. But then again, Kane didn't get the ball enough. And Son, obviously, he got injured. Gareth Bale, I think, probably got about 5 touches throughout the entire game.
Well, Kane had... up until the 70th, 80th minute, Kane didn't have any touches in the Arsenal area. And that's crazy.
It's too many sideward passes, and we just couldn't get out. And I think Smith Rowe, he was brilliant today. And it was too much for Doherty and Højbjerg. They're not creative enough to come out from the back there. I thought Dele Alli should have started as well. personal opinion.
I mean, Arsenal, what it was, their high press was the problem, and the energy and the fitness, which was surprising because they played away at Greece while Tottenham were at home. So you'd expect, and plus Tottenham were able to rest more players because they kind of had the tie done. So I was a bit surprised. With the lack of energy Tottenham had, and I think the biggest difference was the fitness. I do think there was tactics involved. Definitely Tierney was pushing up a lot quicker and higher than he normally does. Even though the attacks go down that side, normally he's dribbling it out and then playing it in, but he was always already on Doherty pretty much. So I do think that was a tactical thing. They wanted to force Bale back. But the biggest problem was the high press. And the other thing was Kane kept coming. That was strange in the first half. Kane kept coming into midfield and Lamela was going long.
But that's what Kane usually does. He comes into midfield to pick up the ball, and
but
he
not
plays
that deep.
the Son. Yeah, not that deep.
But this was deeper than normal, and on top of that, the long balls they were playing, there's no way Lamela's going to win them.
Yeah.
So it was strange. I mean, the whole setup from Tottenham was really, really strange.
It was confused, to say the least.
Let's look at the key point in the match. Really, the penalty. Was it a penalty, Maruf?
When I saw it in real time, I thought, yeah, it is. And then when I saw the replay, he lost the ball. There was no way. There was no connection was made after when he swung at it wild, Lacazette. But then again, then I thought Sanchez shouldn't have had his foot that high either. So it's one of those where it could have been or it can't. And in my opinion, at the end, I thought, yeah, go on, it's a pen.
Maru, Famik, what did you make of the decision?
It's one of those where when it's for your team, you're like, yes, it's a penny. When it's against you, you're like, I'm not so sure. Because I saw it, I thought, like Maruf, I thought penalty straight away. Saw the replay and I thought, it's Arsenal. We're not going to get this. VAR is going to be like, nah. So when we got it, it was great. But I think it's more of we got the penalty because of the way Sanchez went in for the tackle rather than the intent of the tackle, because it was clumsy and he just come charging in.
I just think
you don't think so? Because he's gone to block the ball, but he smashed into Lacazette.
It's not a penalty. I mean, if you're going to start giving penalties for that, no, it would have been a penalty if he got his shot off. And he never got
that was my point, yeah.
He never got any of the ball, but the ball's completely gone.
So why is he clattering into him then? That's why he got the penalty.
The balls went into each other.
Let me say something.
I just think if you're going to give that, then you're basically you might as well call football a non-contact sport.
I do.
Because when you go in for a tackle...
Don't do that.
No, it's got nothing to do with Arsenal thingy. It's just genuine.
No, I get what you mean.
Going for a tackle, there is going to be contact. I mean, there's a guy striking a ball and there's a guy closing down to block it. What happens after you strike a ball, no referee judges that what happens afterwards. No one.
But then again, there's quite a few free kicks nowadays, are given from follow-throughs. Because that's almost like a follow-through, isn't it?
You get free kicks for that, always.
Yeah.
It's just when it's a penalty, they
Lamela picked up his first booking because of a follow-through. That tackle on Thomas Partey, he got the ball, but his follow-through was disgusting.
No, but he went stands up. That's totally different from a guy who's blocking a shot and then there's contact afterwards. You're always going to get contact because one person is striking the ball forward and the other person is closing down to block it. So I just think if you're going to give penalties for that, there's going to be too many penalties all the time off the ball. And the thing is, if you're saying also that you're going to give penalties for stuff like that when it's off the ball because the ball was gone, then it becomes ridiculous. Where does it stop? I mean,
that's what I've always said. Where is it going to be? Because you wasn't going to get on the end of that.
In terms of consistency, in terms of consistency, I don't think it's in the rule books that this should be a pen. But on balance of play, totally deserved for Arsenal in the sense that they were the ones pushing and making things happen.
But it's the same mode, isn't it? Arsenal ain't clinical, so this game should have been done at halftime.
And maybe this is luck evening itself out for Arsenal fans.
I mean, great finish by Lacazette though.
He doesn't miss penalties usually. So when he had the penalty, I knew it was a goal.
I mean, I did say to Hassan that, he scored his last 5 penalties. I highly doubt he's going to miss this one as well.
He doesn't really miss penalty. Aubameyang, yeah, maybe. But
well, the thing is, you still forget it's Arsenal because, I mean, they cause themselves problems. So that's why you're always worried.
Well, I think on that point, I think you guys gave us 2-3 chances.
I mean, yeah, so that was going to be my next point. They kind of go down to 10 men. And we dominate.
Showed more desire.
All of a sudden, we start doing this where we give away a corner, Partey poor pass, where it could have been an easy pass to David Luiz.
Yeah, but he was moaning at everybody about that.
What did you make of it? Because it just seems like we were kind of panicking.
I'll tell you what the difference was is a certain black fella, number 12 with Afro, came on the pitch, and all of a sudden, panic stations. Willian is an issue. I don't care. Whether he was directly involved or not, that guy is a problem and he's got to go. As soon as he come on, Arsenal started playing poorly.
It's a psychological thing for the rest of the team.
I think you've got an issue with Willian, man.
Oh, I do. I'm not even going to pretend I don't. I don't like him. I think he's just...
This traditional question mark around Arsenal causing own goals for themselves and making life difficult for themselves was the same thing before Willian even joined Arsenal.
Yeah, I know. But, we were dominating.
I think Willian kind of cemented that statement, though, Adil.
If you can tell me anything definitively that Willian did to make Arsenal suddenly... I mean, I could tell you many other players that were making mistakes.
Shall I give you one, the biggest thing Willian did?
Yes, go on.
He crossed that white line.
Tackles.
William crossed that white line, and there it was. There, that's where the problem was.
I think this is blind.
What really changed for Spurs to kind of start coming back into the game and really dominating? Was it due to the fact that Arsenal started dropping further back and kind of like trying to just hold on?
It's two things. You got Arsenal dropping back, trying to protect the lead, and on top of that, Tottenham don't have anything to lose now. They're losing the game. They've gone down to 10 men. Might as well go for it. Might as well draw 2-2 or lose 5-1, for example. That's the mentality, and they got the opportunities to get back into to even at least get a draw. But luck was on Arsenal's side today for most part. On the balance of play, Arsenal deserved to win, but at the end of the day, it is down to taking your chances. And Arsenal were lucky. Harry Kane hit the post.
The other one was offside.
But Arsenal also hit the post twice, so I don't...
Yeah, but that's what I mean in terms of taking your chances, because Arsenal didn't take their chances in the first half. Comes towards the end of the game, it's only 2-1. Arsenal take all their chances in the first half. That game's done at halftime.
But with Tottenham, they need to go a goal behind in order to get going.
That's normally Arsenal.
That's been Tottenham the last couple of games.
And that's exactly what happened today. We went behind.
It's a fragile team. That all it is Arsenal looking at previous games, especially against Mourinho. You add all those things in. Players know the stats. They would have heard during the week Mourinho that Tottenham have won twice against us. All those things played its part in them getting a bit negative in their mind, defensive, a bit reactive. They're starting to foul, giving soft fouls away, letting Tottenham pump the ball in the box. But that's all it is a fragile team. But they got through it, and that's going to help them. It happens with every team. Every winning team goes, before they go on a run, they go through moments like this. Yeah. And that's where the belief comes. So
that's exactly what Arsenal needed.
And they needed that. They needed to struggle and just get through it to know they can do it. So I think the combination of more fragile mentality than definitely not had nothing to do with. I mean, Willian was actually protecting Tierney quite a bit, who was quite tired. So I think it's that. I think you could say more for El Neni coming on and playing in the 10.
I don't understand that, but Arteta makes weird substitutions anyway. So
I think that's all about making a statement to Aubameyang.
That's what I was going to bring on. My next question is Aubameyang being dropped for disciplinary reasons. Just to
you know why?
Yeah, because he was late apparently, and it's not the first time.
But even if it was the first time, he's the captain. He shouldn't be late. So realistically, that's just how it goes. As much as I would have been like, he's our best player, one of our best players, I'll play him. But for Arteta is very selective with his morals. Certain players get away with it, certain players don't. And now we found out that Aubameyang doesn't get away with it.
So who does get away with it then?
Willian gets away with it. Xhaka gets away with it. Those are the main two, because what they're non-negotiables. There are things that certain players do, like Xhaka can do something. Mistakes every game. It doesn't matter. He'll still play. Regardless of the situation, he will still play. But then you've got other players like Pepe, for example. Pepe has been better in recent games. As in, he's been good enough to be starting games, in my opinion. And he's still not starting. He's still coming for bench. And then you have other people like Willian, for example, who will be given the opportunity to start games regardless of how he's played all season. And those are the things that Arteta needs to work on.
I
was
think
quite
that's an
surprised.
argument though, because recently Willian's been only starting the Europa games and played when Smith Rowe and Pepe were injured or needed a rest. But
that's because
it's been
the players
Pepe
that have
ahead.
played. It's because he doesn't have a choice at this moment in time. He doesn't have a choice. It's one of those where once things start to even out, you'll see Willian play. Because, for example, what was the point in bringing him on today?
Tired legs?
Maybe
Yeah, I mean, Smith Rowe was
protect
tired.
Tierney a bit more.
But
Because
why Willian?
And Tierney did need protection.
Why Willian is what I'm trying to get at. Why Willian?
I mean, who
else would you have brought on? Who else would you have brought on to protect?
No one has
I didn't
better.
even remember he was on the bench, but I'd have put on Martinelli, for example.
Martinelli wasn't on the bench.
Yeah, see, so you've taken off. El Neni's a hard worker, so it's.
But he can't play on the wing.
What makes you think this?
No, I'm saying
especially
it's the wing though.
It's you're protecting the back line, not moving forward. So because Willian didn't contribute going forward,
he
didn't need to.
He's still pressed.
Exactly. This is what I'm trying to say. El Neni would have done the same job. So I'm not
because you can't guarantee whether the ball would have come to him in that position or not, and he would have lost it because it's an alien position. But if the ball went to Willian, he would have kept it. There would have been more criticism on Arsenal and Arteta if they played El Neni and left Willian on the bench. I just think if
they played El Neni, if they played El Neni and Arsenal won, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered.
You could put El Neni in that wing. He would have.
And the thing is,
he'd be looking for a sat nav for his way back to the centre of mid. Or defensive mid.
It's the derby, and Willian didn't start. So what more do you want? I mean, he didn't start.
I want him to play. Personally,
on that, really, half-time, they made a substitution to take Saka off and bring Pepe on. What do you think that was down to? Was it a tactical move to kind of get Pepe to run more Regulon because he was on yellow?
No, I think that was down to injury. I think
Saka did look slow.
Had Regulon on roast. And I was hoping an assist or a goal would come from Saka just to say the line that Regulon, the best left back in the Prem on the world, according to Jamie Redknapp, got roasted by a 20-year-old.
Well, I wanted more points in Fantasy League, but
don't get me wrong, Regulon, I think he's very good, but
going forward,
today he was very normal. I wouldn't say poor; he was normal, not what we've
going forward. He's good defensively.
Well, I had this discussion with Maruf in the sense that I asked who's
better, Tierney,
Regular, Kieran Tierney. He goes.
I went Regular all day.
Really?
I wouldn't bat an eyelid.
You'd have Regular?
Yeah.
On what basis?
The attacking threat that he provides.
But is that the only job? I mean, then you must have played.
No. I know. No. But I mean, the tactic that Tottenham are playing, I think he's better in that position.
Nah.
I'd say than Kieran Tierney.
I'd say no because Tottenham need more defensive work. Harry Kane and Son do all that attacking stuff. They just need better defenders.
I thought Eric Dyer should have started today.
I mean, Adi, what did you think? Who gets your pick? Regulon or Kieran Tierney?
Tierney, I mean, he's a
I thought
bad.
you were gonna say Luke Shaw.
No, I mean, Man United are playing in a way where they're allowing Luke Shaw to have a lot of creative freedom, but I still think Tierney is a better defender, a better attacker, more intelligent player.
And who, Luke Shaw?
He's a player who Tierney, but he's a player who plays with heart. I mean, he puts the tackle in. So definitely my type of player. So
Short sleeves in the winter, yeah.
Sorry?
Short sleeves in the winter.
Yeah. He's a Scotsman. You'd expect that. They don't see the sun.
Just on that, I thought Reguilon epitomized the whole of the Tottenham team, other than
apart from Lucas
Moura, which I thought in the second half he put more.
Yeah, second half, yeah.
And I thought even in the first half he was still doing it. He just stepped up in the second.
Yeah, but also the only other player I thought played well, but obviously got penalised for the giving away the penalty, Sanchez as well. But other than them two, every other Tottenham player seemed like they were fatigued, tired.
There was poor communication in the box as well.
Harry Kane didn't really touch the ball. Neither did Gareth Bale. Neither did Son. So it's not like they played badly. They just didn't get an opportunity to play.
We just couldn't even get out of the back.
Energy. I mean, they never had the energy. Even the defenders. I mean, Alderweireld looked way off the pace. Even for that equaliser, he done a holding, went to block space rather than close the man down.
Yeah.
But it was the whole Arsenal team Tottenham team just looked flat, other than Sanchez and Moura, which was just strange. It's a derby. And Lamela did bring a bit more
fire
energy.
and oomph, yeah.
I think that's why he got even more carried away than normal, because no one else was giving it.
Hassan, what do you think of Odegaard now that you've seen a bit of him?
I was speaking about this to Maruf, and that's the thing. I still need to see more from him. Yeah, he scored, fair enough, but I still need to see more from him to really make a decision on him, really.
Do you know, one thing I really like about him was that when he gets the ball, he's not looking side or back. He wants to get the ball going. He wants to get the game going forward.
And that's why Arsenal need another centre midfielder like that. Partey, Odegaard, and someone else.
I was thinking with Partey, if we had someone like Santi Cazorla, it'd have been amazing. But yeah, we can't. He's retired now. So
has he officially retired now? I thought he was at Villarreal.
No, he's left.
No, he's not retired. He's playing.
He's not retired. Yeah, I thought so.
He's playing for Xavi's team.
I mean, you can call it retirement football, but
the thing was, just to bring back to that point, was that oh my gosh, I forgot my point.
Odegaard.
Yeah, Odegaard. The thing with Odegaard is he actually really fits Arteta's system, because he's very tactical in his movement, and he follows instructions really well. And he's a leader as well. At the amount of times he was shouting at Pepe, and he literally is telling everyone,
dictates play.
Yeah. And even the press, he shouts at players, "Don't go for him. He's my man." And he literally waving players and Lacazette where to press, when to press. And that really, as I noticed it today a lot. I've seen it in other games, but today was the first time I saw it. Odegaard doing it the whole game.
I told you, Hassan.
That I like about Odegaard is the fact
still need to see more, like I said.
Runs players down. Like, people have likened him to Ozil in the sense that he's his vision and the style of play, but he is a hard worker on top of that. He doesn't just let the game go by. You'll see him
even track back.
Even though he's slight, he still puts in tackles. He puts himself about. Like, it's good. It's finally good. Lots of energy on the Arsenal pitch, and that's why we're creating opportunities and sort of winning games anyway.
I still think the better he'll play, the more chance he'll go back to Real.
If Zidane stays, if Zidane doesn't get sacked or he doesn't leave, I think we're still all right with Odegaard. He'll probably return on loan, or we might even be able to buy him. But if Zidane leaves, I think Odegaard will return to Real Madrid.
I think he'll only have one more year on his contract, so he'll either
renew
or leave.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll let him go on a free. So
I think it depends on Zidane, though.
Yeah.
So hopefully Zidane stays.
I mean, total domination from Arsenal in the North London derby. And as we found out, North London is red. So thank you guys and see you soon.